Right guys, welcome back to the Regal Gentleman YouTube channel, The Hunter Collective. Today we've got Ben in the chair. How are you, Ben?
Good.
You good?
Yeah.
So, tell me what we're doing today, mate. What's the plan?
So typically I get my hair cut like every 6 weeks, but obviously it's kind of grown out a bit.
Okay.
So I think typically I go for kind of short back and sides and then kind of, very basic.
Like a classic more than, classic haircut. Yeah, okay, cool. Yeah, no worries. And how short would you normally go on the back and sides? Do you use clippers? Do you use scissors? Do you have a grade you go to normally, like a number? Two?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, yeah, sure. So it's been a while then?
Yeah, it's
okay.
been a long time.
Yeah, all right, no worries. Yeah, that's cool. All right, and is that what you want to do today? You want to do the same kind of thing today?
Yeah, so, I guess kind of since I got into like styling my hair ages ago, I always kind of liked the look of, those like really slick kind of almost like Beckham style. Like,
definitely, yeah.
But I think I've kind of struggled throughout the years to try to get that, and I don't know if that's because of like the texture of my hair, the color of my hair, the product, or so. Yeah, I think it would be interesting to kind of know.
Okay, generally when you're working with thick, straight hair, because I've got the same as you, right? Just a lot grayer, unfortunately. You tend to have to leave it a lot longer to achieve them looks, okay? Because the shorter it is, because it's so thick and so straight, it almost forces itself in the way it wants to grow. Now mine does that, so I would not be able to slick this length at all, right? Even, maybe with the heaviest of pomades, but it becomes effort then, right? So I always think it's got to work with just an easy, it should be easy and effortless to be able to still create that nice style. It looks quite short up the top here. So it looks as though it's being cut really, really short, all one length up to here. And you've got a lot of length sitting through here. And the crown is already sticking out at the back. So if you turn your head to the side, that's sticking out quite a lot through there, okay? Now, once it's all wet, we'll be able to see why, but I've got a feeling it might be just a little bit too short, okay? That's why it's sticking out. Okay, so look, if you look at them bits there, that's on the top of your head, okay? So it's there, right before your, almost right before your crown's there, okay? So it might be hard to get a slick look today, but it will be something we can grow into, okay? So it could be a bit of a work in progress, okay? Yeah. If this was that short here, not a problem at all. But because it's gone over the round of the head, that bit wants to go forwards and that bit will spike, okay? So it'll stand up just like that, very easily. That shouldn't be that short. Yeah, with that length there as well.
That's because I cut it, so.
You cut it? Okay.
That's why it's
okay, all right, that makes more sense. Thank goodness for that, yeah. Okay, right, okay, so rule number one, no DIY haircuts now. We're open, we're back open. We do not need lockdown haircuts, okay? But all that's done is slightly put you back a bit, okay? Now, obviously, if you had to do it, you had to do it. That's fine. I can't comment. But with that being so short of where it is it might limit us to having that kind of slick look, unless we put a parting in it. Now, have you ever wore a parting in your hair before? Have you ever wore a solid parting? Yeah. Okay, cool.
Pretty soft one.
Okay, more of a soft one. Okay. So I think putting the parting in for that kind of style is a really good one, because that's what gives that classic finish to that haircut, okay, is the parting. Now, parting is very easy if you get it in the right place, okay? So usually, and where I've always done my partings from is a very classic way, is from the crown to the recession point, okay? So you just bring it from the crown, straight down into the recession point. Now yours is easy because yours is pretty much smack bang in a straight line. Yeah. It literally comes at a slight angle, but it's pretty much in a straight line. So if you practice that, it'll take you a couple of weeks to practice it, maybe less if you pick it up quicker, but that will give you a bit more of a slicker finish. The only problem is you've cut them short bits right on that line, as you can see there. Okay. Now, unfortunately, there's nothing I can do with that today at all. Okay. The only thing I could do with that is to cut it to that same length, which I don't want to do. So I think we need to disguise them bits and then cut the rest in the way we normally would, okay? So I reckon because your hair is slightly finer, I reckon you could probably get away with about that much off, and that would still give you the slick finish that you want to achieve. It's just where that bit is there. Why that bit? Out of interest?
I don't know, I think it was just sticking out. And I was like,
no. Okay, cool. All right, well, at least we know in future not to do that, all right? Leave it to the pros, yeah, exactly, that's right. I'm just concerned how this is going to stick out. So I want to see what that's like when it's washed, and then we'll be able to know where that's going to play its part. But yeah, essentially, I think it'll be a really nice finish. I think the two's quite short, so it'll be quite a sharp finish, this haircut. So I think it'll be nice. But if you're happy to do that and try the parting, and I'll show you a choice of pomade to use as well, which will be really nice for you as well. Yeah. Give it a go, yeah? Awesome. All right then, bud. Right, we'll give it a shampoo and condition, and then we'll get started. All right. Right. So I've just shampooed and conditioned Ben's hair. Now I really want to see how this side here is sitting now it's wet, okay? Because if it's kicking out when it's wet, it's going to kick out when it's dry. Which means we're working with very, very ultra straight hair. You want to work in the way the hair wants to grow. Now, Ben not only has super straight hair and he wants to wear a part in it, he's also got a crazy double crown as well. Okay, so if you have a look at that, he's got a crown there and a crown there. So that is a solid double crown, right? But it's workable, okay? Because if you look at that, it falls over the other side nicely. Okay, so it's workable. We just need to make sure we leave that to the very end and we basically just freehand cut that bit to make it sit flat, okay? So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna get rid of the crown. I'm gonna start with a horseshoe section. Now I wanna cut the back and sides in first because I need to see how it's gonna sit from the crown as well. Then cut right on the round of the head, the worst place he could have possibly chosen to cut it. But it's all right, you know, we live and we learn. Drop that a little bit. There we go, so that's spiraling out from the crown into what would be a horseshoe. And then there's the other crown here. And as you can see, it's wanting to sit quite flat. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start the horseshoe from that side there, leaving that in play, okay? The three things you can do with a double crown is you can either work with it like I am and getting the best out of it, or you can cut it right off, or you can leave it super long. They're the only things you can really do with it, right? But I'm working with it. I always think it's the best option to do that. That way you know exactly how it's going to fall when it's dried as well. So that is the good thing about working with a double crown. There we go. Like so. Now I'm going to dry this off before we start. There we go. So now it's all been washed and I've dried it through. That side isn't sticking up too much. It's sticking out a little bit, but I can control that when I come to clipper in it. So starting on my number 3, I'm gonna work up to about here. There we go. Moving on to my 2 now, so 2.5. Into the 3. There we go. And then finally into our number 2. So I'm going to work on the taper first. So again, we're going for quite a classic haircut. So I think a nice classic taper will be very nice for this as well. So starting on my 1 guard, lever back, working up and off. This will give a lovely contrast to when you're wearing it really slick on the top. And working in between the 1 and the 1.5. So the lever just in the middle and then down to the 1. Up and off. In between the 1 and the 1.5, and then into the 1. 1 guard off onto the open blade now, working up and off. Halfway from being fully closed, and then closed, down to the 0. Working up and off into the sides. I'm just moving on to a 1.5. I'm just working that around the ears, just to taper. Yeah, and then just to tip the side bends a bit as well, just to create kind of exactly where the sharpest point would be. Working around the ear, working up and off into the 2. So I'm going to start the blend. I'm working up and off, hanging on the teeth towards me to layer that crown down. So as you can see, when I layer it, bring the teeth towards me, it keeps the heaviness at the top. Okay. I'm working down on this one. towards me to layer that crown on. Just going to strengthen it up and clean up the temple into the sideburns. Pop a nice line at the right height for the sideburns too. Sharpen off the bottom of the neckline. Size 5 comb. Just working all the way up. Everything through here I'm going to work on properly when we've connected the top. There we go. Right, so I'm just going to cut that side of the partner first, underneath, like that. Like so. Keep that connecting on the sides. So we need to work on the top now. We want to leave this section here the longest point. So what we do, work on anything classic like this, as I never take a section from where the parting is, I take a section from the middle. Because we essentially want to leave this section the longest, so I can sweep over, create that squareness through here, and then it sits in through that side as well. So this needs to be the longest point of the haircut. So I reckon we get away with about that, just to be sure. Now I'm cutting this nice and straight, nice and uniform, because it's a classic haircut. So we're not looking for texture in this haircut, we're looking for precision, we're looking for shape. Primary shape is the main focus today. There we go. And there's the guide that I'm going to use. And again, when I just get to this section here, where near the crown, I'm going to cut that, and then I'm going to leave the crown till later. I'm going to keep that nice and straight. There's my guide from the top. There's my guide from the clipper work. Now we're going to use really small sections now, because we're connecting in the top. Now I'm just going to cross check. You see how close them sections were? Very little cross checking to do. Now down. Now this needs to be cut on an angle. Okay, so remember we're leaving this side here the longest, so it needs to be cut on this angle here, so asymmetric. And use that as my guide there. Fingers on the shape I want it to go, and cut. And then matching to the side. And what that does, as it sweeps over, it all connects. And it all falls nicely into the side as well. Now I'm going to connect in the crown just by doing a horizontal section, like so. Leaving all that length there. Same here. Just connecting these little bits. I'm going to dry it off, then we'll thin it out a touch, and then we'll perfect anywhere that we need to perfect. So I'm drying this on a medium heat and a medium speed now. I'm just wrapping the brush, the root, and just rolling it over like that. A bit of scissor over comb. Make sure that's sitting nice. Break up the ends as well. I'm going to start to layer this in. I'm just working slowly down. I'm just going to point cut into it a little bit just to thin it out slightly so it's just a little bit softer. Now, last little bit, I'm going to work over with the clippers just to cap off any bits that I find could sit a little bit closer in. I'm going to point cut through just to thin it out a little bit as well. The ends, just to take that thickness away. Now, I'm not cutting into this side here. I want to keep the weight in there so it holds itself. Keeps itself sweeping over into the side part too. So I'm going to use a product called Regal. Okay, this is like the ultimate kind of pomade brand really. So we'd use about maybe, I don't know, maybe a pea size, maybe a tiny bit more, maybe bigger than a pea size amount. Now what I'd say first is put it along the parting, because that is the problem area. So as you can see, that's holding them little bits down right now. So put it over there like that. From the front to the back. Right through the blend to finish, and through the back and the sides as well, just to gloss the back and sides, so you've got the same colour when the light hits it. And now, comb into place. And what we're left with is a nice, slick hairstyle. Nice, smart haircut. Happy?
Yeah, definitely.
Awesome.
I think it's I think I like this, and also like before you did the comb bit, like the kind of hand combed one was quite nice as well.
Oh yeah, of course, yeah. Well, the beauty is you can wear it any way you really want. You know, if you want it a bit drier. Now, this is the kind of slick finish you get. So it sits really, really smart. Super, super smart haircut with the part in it. And as you can see, the pomade's holding them little ones down as well. You've got a really nice slick finish to that as well. But if you wanted it just natural, you can put a bit of clay in there as well if you wanted to, and just have it more natural. I'd still stick the parting in there though, because I think it really helps, especially with the shorter bits. But that is essentially a really nice classic finish. Thank you very much. Love doing the classics. I don't get many of the kind of classic hairstyles in, so it's quite nice when you get a proper classic pomade one. So yeah, just to recap, we did a 2 back and sides. On Benny wanted quite a classic finish, but obviously at the start, he'd cut his own hair in little bits. But the problem was they were kind of smack bang on the round of the head, so they were automatically going to stick up. He's got a solid double crown as well, which can be an issue if you don't work with it. So what we did was 2 back and sides, but the way we horseshoed the top, we let the crown be involved in the horseshoe. The nice sort of quite a tight taper, very classic taper, blended in, and then it worked down with the clipper as well. That's a good way of kind of just finishing off kind of very straight spiky hair that sticks out. You basically just kind of cut the shape in yourself, and it helps to keep it growing in that shape as well. I find it works really well for me. And then because this bit was sticking up, it's actually sitting flat now, we want to leave this section here. So from the center of the head to the parting, we want to leave completely leave the length, because that's where it needs to be the longest bit. So as it sits in this shape, this length here is creating that shape through there. And then finish with a bit of green Regal, and yeah, that's it. All done. Looks awesome, mate. Thanks. Really good. Thank you very much, man.